Hello everyone, and welcome to another Simulated Aviation video. I'm Ben, and today we'll be going over how our virtual airline, Simulated Aviation Airways, operates. This will include how to join, some of our rules and expectations, and a brief tutorial on how to start your first flight with the airline. You can find Simulated Aviation Airways by visiting simulatedaviation.com/airway, or clicking on the hyperlink on our homepage or in the description of this video. To join, simply click the Join button on the header, read the terms and conditions, then fill out the application form. We do not require your VATSIM or IVAO IDs, but if you have one and you would like to provide it, it will appear on your profile for other pilots to see. Simulated Aviation Airways is a different airline to what most people may be familiar with when dealing with virtual airlines. We do not require you to fly specific flights or specific aircraft. Simply fly what you want, where you want, how you want. We typically prefer to focus on bush flights or bush aircraft, but flying an A320 or 747 is perfectly fine as well. Our only requirement for submitted PIREPs or pilot reports, as we'll get to later, is that your landing rate must be less than 700 feet per minute. You can choose to adhere to as many or as few FARs or AIMs as you see fit when you fly. If you don't know what that means, you don't have to adhere to any of them. So take it seriously, or just come by and have fun with friends. We don't mind either way. While you wait to be accepted, you may find browsing the Airways site or reading some of the articles on our main site as beneficial. Once you are accepted, you will be provided an SAA or Simulated Aviation Airways number, which you will enter in the pilot login screen with your password by clicking on the Crew Center in the top right corner. If you can't remember your SAA number, you can find it listed on the roster page under Operations Center. Once you've logged in, your name will replace Crew Center on the menu, and by clicking on it, you can access a number of new pages that are only available to our pilots. Many of the pages are self-explanatory, but we will briefly go over them here. Dashboard is the initial page you are brought to when you log in, which provides a brief overview of your stats. Dispatch can be used once you book a flight, which we will get to later. View Profile shows you a more detailed overview of your stats. My Awards will only work if you have received an Airway award. Logbook shows a list of flights you have completed with the Airway. We will return to downloads in a moment. Edit Profile allows you to adjust the info you provided when you signed up, as well as adding a profile photo, which we suggest you do. Inbox and send messages allow you to communicate with other pilots. Schedule and manual PIREP we will return to momentarily as well. And finally, change password and log out allow you to do each task respectively. Now that we have covered most of the new pages, let's cover how to get set up for your first flight with the airline. First, select your name from the menu and click Downloads. This will bring you to a downloads page for our required software. If you are flying on the new Microsoft Flight Simulator, FSX, or P3D, you will need both downloads provided. And if you're using X-Plane, you will need XPUIPC instead of FSUIPC. This download is also provided in the link above. This tutorial will cover how to do a flight on the new flight simulator, but the process is similar regardless of the chosen sim. After downloading, be sure to unzip both files using either WinRAR or a similar program, and then we will run the VA base ACARS executable. Simply follow the on-screen instructions and install the program to your computer. Once this is completed, navigate to the FSUIPC folder and send the exe file to your desktop to create a shortcut. You can move the FSUIPC folder to another location before doing this if you like. There is no need to run an install process for FSUIPC. Now that we've downloaded and installed the programs, you can run the VA Base Live ACARS program via the shortcut on your desktop. This may provide a Windows Protected Your PC error. This is a frequent error when a program is fairly small and not frequently used. You can simply click More Info and then Run anyway to bypass this error. Now you'll be prompted to input your pilot ID and password. Simply input the ID you used to log into the site initially and then press Login. Next, you will be presented with a page that says Flight Plan, which is where we will input the info for our flight momentarily. There are also several other tabs at the top that provide extra information that you can browse through if you would like. To begin a flight, input the departure and arrival airport ICAO codes in the provided boxes. Then input a flight number. We suggest using a tail number for this, but using SAA and then 2 or 3 numbers is also acceptable. Input the number of passengers, selected cruising altitude, and amount of cargo, then flight route. For this flight, I will be departing KVLD to arrive at KJAX, that's Valdosta, Georgia, to Jacksonville, Florida, with 2 passengers at 5,500 feet. No extra cargo, and I'll be flying direct, so I'll just enter DCT for the flight route. Ignore the I pressed an extra button by mistake in the recording of this. When using VA base, you must climb to at least 1,100 feet during your flight for the flight to count. So please keep this in mind if you are flying a smaller aircraft and intend to fly at low altitude. Now that we have input the data for our flight, start FSUIPC and then start the chosen simulator. Once we have the sim open, select your departure airport and change the starting point to a ramp. Then change the arrival airport to your selected airport. You do not need to select the ramp for the arrival airport unless you want to. Make sure the weather and time is set as you like and press fly. Once your sim has finished loading, ensure your aircraft has the parking brake set and you have the correct fuel and payload on board for your flight. Then switch back to VA base and click Start Flight. The program will prompt you to ensure your sim is set correctly, as I just did, and then remind you that you must climb to at least 1,100 feet in the flight. Once you press Yes and OK on these windows, the flight will have started, and you can see the tracking begin on the right side of the program. Simply click back on the sim, complete your flight, and then, once you've completed your flight, press End Flight after setting your parking brake at the destination airport. When you press End Flight, an automatic PIREP or pilot report will be submitted to the website, which you can view in your logbook within 2 minutes of ending the flight. This report will log many events that take place on your flight, including leaving the landing light on above 10,000 feet or having the beacon off when the engine is on, among other things. As mentioned, we will not reject a flight report for any of these reasons as long as your landing rate is less than 700 feet per minute. But this information is beneficial if you want to take a flight a little bit more seriously than others. With your first flight complete, let's cover some of the other features available on the site. The Airways staff has provided a number of tours and regional or short flights that we find enjoyable to fly on the Schedules page under Operations Center. There are 3 versions of each flight listed to allow up to 3 people to fly the same flight at the same time using the booking system. The LFET flights, for example, are 47 flights provided to tour the lower 48 of the United States, allowing you to land in each state with medium-length flights between 30 and 320 miles, depending on the leg, between each airport. Clicking on LFET-01, which is the first flight in the tour, along with LFET-101 and 201, we can see the flight was planned at 290 knots, which provides an estimated flight duration on this page, along with the departure and arrival airport. Click on Book Flight if you choose to fly this flight, then restart or open VA base, and 4 of the boxes for the flight plan should be filled in automatically. Simply fill in the rest of the boxes, change the flight route, and begin your flight. Using the booking page also allows you to view a dispatch of the flight, which provides a lot of great information for your planning purposes, including weather, distance, frequencies, and runway length. For your planning purposes before starting the flight, the shortest runway of this tour is 5,000 feet, and there are a number of those, with the longest flight being 314 miles, so choose your aircraft accordingly. As a side note, if you complete all 47 of these LFET flights using VA base and the booking system, you will be eligible to receive the Lower 48 Traveler Award listed on the website, so please get in contact with a staff member. The final page to discuss is the manual PIREP page. If you end your flight and find VA base has crashed, or if you accidentally press the abort flight rather than the end flight button, you can submit your PIREP manually by visiting this page. Fill out the information as thoroughly as possible, and if you have access to the tracking log of VA base, please post that in the comments box provided. Thank you for your interest in Simulated Aviation Airways. Don't forget to join our Discord to get involved in group flights and to chat with other pilots, and we hope to see you in the sky soon.